This is the Minolta Freedom Zoom 150. Yeah, we've all heard the jokes. Robot wieners, zooming, freedom. Yeah. Why am I so bitter? Well, it's probably because point and shoots have never really wowed me on my photographic career. They just kind of exist. Over the years, I've collected and had multiple different types of point and shoot cameras, including a Nikon Light Touch as well as an Olympus Mule. Most of them have been traded off or sold, because they're not my thing. But I did get this Minolta Freedom Zoom as a gift. After bringing it home, I pretty much just tossed it on a shelf. But after picking it up, holding it, and feeling the cool metal on my fingertips, I decided that if a camera feels good in your hands, it's probably a good sign to go out and shoot it. Now that we're all caught up, let's get back to shooting this roll of Kodak Color Plus. This camera's feature-packed. It's got auto ISO, auto exposure, as well as autofocus. It really takes the pain out of taking photographs. It's like all you have to do is point and shoot. Jokes aside, I'll give it credit for having a decently sharp lens that produces nice contrast. As well, the telephoto shots aren't half bad. So here's the first issue I have with point and shoot cameras. For this scene, I remember tilting the lens down and trying to get a meter reading for the sidewalk. After I got that kind of locked in by half pressing the shutter, I tilted the lens back up to reframe my composition and took the photo. Unfortunately, when I did that, the camera just kind of reset all the exposure settings and didn't do what I wanted it to do. I've had this issue before with other point and shoots. Unfortunately, a lot of these just lack the technology to remember settings. They're constantly remetering for each scene, but this is a problem where you're thinking you're having one exposure and then it decides to go ahead and change it on you. I know these Minoltas were a pretty consumer-friendly point and shoot camera back in the day. I really wish there was a way to see what aperture or shutter speed you're shooting at in the viewfinder. But I guess that's just something that comes with premium point and shoots. Unfortunately, I don't have the ad revenue to talk shit about one of those. For me, my knowledge of exposure, as well as my desire to under or overexpose my photographs, kind of counteracts the whole point and shoot experience. I've spent a lot of time working with mechanical film cameras, learning my settings so I can dial them in and get the results I want. I like setting my shutter speeds. I like choosing the right aperture for desired depth of field. I also like setting my ISO so I can know if I'm shooting at box speed or overexposing. That's the workflow I'm comfortable with. I like being in control. Honestly, I think it all stems from me working customer service for too long and feeling like I had zero control. Now I'm taking it out in my photography.
I captured your essence.
Claire and I eventually made it back home, but the pink sunset that was happening that night had us take another walk to go try to find some views of Mount Rainier. Unfortunately though, the problems kept coming. For instance, this camera produces a red light right by the viewfinder if it thinks it doesn't have enough light to take the photo. Well, here's the thing. This camera will still allow you to take photos at ridiculously slow shutter speeds, like below 1/15 of a second. Handheld, which means these came out blurry. Honestly, I should have known better. The light was pretty limited. But I wasn't going to be the guy pulling out a tripod for a point and shoot camera. That's just weird. I'll do it for a Holga. I won't do it for a point and shoot. So after a single roll of film and a solid day of shooting, the Minolta Freedom Zoom 150 thanked me for bringing it back to life by absolutely shitting the bed and refusing to rewind the film. I actually had to take this camera into my film changing bag and manually yank out the film from this camera, so it's safe to say this was the Minolta Freedom Zoom's final flight. I honestly had a lot of fun shooting with this camera, but I really can't justify the price of film and development on some photos I don't really have any control over, other than composition. If you love point and shoots and the ease of taking photos, or getting excellent banger shots, as well, you're just having fun, that's amazing. I love that for you. I would love to see your photos. Basically what I'm trying to say here is, I don't want to take the joy out of photography for anyone. If you like using a point and shoot, I love that. It's just not for me. For me though, the joy of film photography comes from the tactile experience of working with a fully mechanical film body. I honestly just really enjoy making all the adjustments to make sure I get the right exposure. And when I get my negatives back from the lab, there's that boost of serotonin when I look at those dense negatives, knowing that I did that. I made those negatives. Well, I didn't develop them, but you know what I mean. So for me, picking up a film camera, pointing it at a subject and snapping a shot, it really doesn't give me the same amount of joy. That being said, I've started to enjoy digital point and shoots, or digicams, like this Canon PowerShot. I know I started this channel with a primary focus on my film photography, but if you guys just want to see a video on photography in general as well as gear, I could do a video on my small digicam collection if that's something of interest. It's not a huge collection, and I primarily shoot this Canon PowerShot, but I've been carrying this thing with me for the past 2 years almost everywhere. Whether I'm out in the field making a YouTube video, or hanging out with friends, or just grabbing a drink at a brewery, this little camera's been with me. And I think it'd be kind of cool to share some of these more personal photos I've taken with it. I just hope YouTube doesn't compress these already low resolution photos, or else I'll end up looking like a Sega Genesis screenshot. Alright, that's it for me this week. I gotta go smash this Minolta with a hammer.